handle it. You like what you say, handle it. You want a video made, handle it. You like what you say, handle it. You want a video made, handle it. You like what you say, handle it. You want a video made.
You know them G's, they be howling, especially them house ones. Brooklyn, Atlanta, Houston to New Orleans. When they see me, they be like, yo, B, let me count. You breaking my focus, boy, you cute and you ballin'. You like it when I shake it. Shout it on the mission, what your name is? What? You want me naked? If you like in this position, you can take it. On your video phone, that's what keep on talking. You like it when it's poppin'. You're saying that you want me. Rest the court, baby, put it on video phone. Give me a video phone. Watch me on your video phone. If you want me, you can watch me on your video phone. Video phone.
That was Beyonce Video Phone featuring Lady Gaga. As always, you guys can find the link to the story and of the song that I played at the beginning in the description below. But today, yesterday, and Can't Evan Think Straight, we apparently found out that, Evan apparently said, "because I love you," to Sebastian. And then apparently Evan literally ran out and jumped and dove into a hedge and called Rory. It's like, "You need to drive me home now, get out of the house." So he did, he went, and now this is the next morning. "Your voice was the soundtrack of my summer." I groaned and turned my alarm off. Sitting up, I glanced down at Rory and shook him. He grumbled out some curse words before burying his face in his pillow. I powed down at him. "If I had to be awake, so do you," I said sternly, violently shaking his body. "I'm up." He snapped, forcing himself to sit up. He rubbed his eyes before shoving me out of my bed. "Ah!" I cried as I thudded onto my floor. I glared up at Rory as he jumped onto my bed. "Rude!" I grumbled as he grabbed my hand and pulled me back to my feet. I grabbed some clothes for Rory and myself. We changed and fixed our hair before going out to my kitchen to grab some breakfast. "Evan, have I ever told you how stupid you are?" Mom asked, glancing up at me as we stood in the kitchen. "Good morning to you too," I whined. "Your shirt is inside out, you dumbass," she said, sipping her coffee. "What? Rory, you didn't tell me?" I cried as I looked down at my shirt, which was indeed inside out. I pulled it off and fixed it. "I'm your mother." "I'm not your mother," Rory said with a shrug, grabbing a Pop-Tart and handing me half of it. I snatched it from his hand and bit into it angrily. "This was our friendship," I said flatly as I swallowed the chunk of Pop-Tart. "Our friendship is s'more Pop-Tarts." "Yes, it is." "You're a moron." He grabbed his car keys and motioned me to follow him. I grumbled out threats as I followed him into his car and got in. He drove us to school, and the two of us got out of the car. We went into the main lobby of school. As I looked around nervously, ready to bolt at the sign of Sebastian. "Evan, calm down. I told you. He'll act like nothing happened," Rory said, rolling his eyes. He grabbed my wrist and dragged me towards the senior hallway. "Rory, what are you doing?" I asked, alarmed, as we neared the senior hallway. "Sebastian's locker is across from mine." Rory nodded. "I know. You can hide from Sebastian forever." "You can't hide from Sebastian forever." Evan, you can't hide from Sebastian forever, Evan. "No matter how hard you try, you'll eventually run into him. So you might as well get it over with so you can stop stressing about it," he said as we turned down the hallway. My eyes shot to Sebastian's locker, and I instantly relaxed when I didn't see him. There. Rory released my wrist, continuing down towards his locker. I went to mine and put in my combination. I began to exchange my books, my eyes darting around in case Sebastian came out of the room. I gulped as I saw Jason and Kyle enter the hallway together, talking and laughing with each other. I shut my locker and basically sprinted down the hallway towards Rory's. "See, Sebastian?" he asked, not even bothering to glance glances at me as he dug around for something. No, I said nervously. Didn't see anything. Not a single thing. Definitely not two homophobic bullies. Nope, Jason and Kyle. Never heard of them. Evan, you really should be getting the filter between your brain and your mouth, Rory said, standing up and shuffling through some papers. Oh, standing up and shoving the paper into his backpack. He shut his locker and turned to me, raising an eyebrow. I don't know what you're talking about, I said casually. I know exactly what I'm saying. I always do. Sure, Evan. Sure, Evan. Sure. He said before beginning to walk away from me, not waiting to be caught by Jason and Kyle while I was alone. I hurried after Rory and basically hid behind him when I spotted the two bullies that were just standing at Jason's locker looking at someone who was on Kyle's cell phone together. Ooh, I wonder if they were secretly gay. That's why they always picked on me. Had Jason sent Kyle a dirty picture? Oh, but then they wouldn't be looking at it together. Why would Jason want to look at a naked picture of himself? I always knew he was weird. Evan, stop being stupid, Rory said with a sigh. I'm not being stupid, I whined. It wasn't my fault Jason had a weird fetish about looking at dirty pictures of himself. The bell rang. Rory and I made our way to our class. By the time lunch came around, I was practically hyperventilating. I hadn't seen Sebastian all day today, but I knew for a fact he was in school. Not that I had snuck into my dad's computer and checked the attendance or anything. Do you see him? I peeked over at Rory's shoulder as I crept behind to get to my locker. No, Evan, he said, rolling his eyes. He walked away from me and I pouted after him. I turned to my locker and opened it and grabbed my lunch. I waited for Rory to come back over as we made our way to the cafeteria together. Oh my god, there he is, I cried in terror before diving under a random table and shielding my face with my brown paper bag that contained my lunch. Stealthy was my middle name. Well, now you got a whole lunchroom's attention. Can we go to our table, Rory asked impatiently. He reached down and forced me out from under the table. I felt myself beginning to tremble as Rory dragged me to our table. No, you can't make me. I don't want it. Ah! I tried to yank my wrist out of Rory's grip, but he held it tight and dragged me over to the table and shoved me into my seat before sitting next to me. My heart was slammed, and I didn't dare to look up at Sebastian. He was right frickin' across from me. Geez, Evan. What was with the screaming and diving under the table, Murphy asked, laughing at me. I was checking to make sure the table worked. Oh my god, Evan. I mumbled, keeping my eyes on the table, and did it? I unmistakably voice of Sebastian filled my ears. I sank down in my seat. It worked just fine, I choked out. 4 legs smooth to the touch, perfect body. Oh my god. I was still thinking about that table. Hey, Evan, do you wanna help me now? I never get around to doing it, Sebastian said. Doing it? Doing what? Me? Huh? I asked, risking a glance. He smiled brightly. Rory was right. Sebastian was pretending that it hadn't. I had blurted out my love for him last night. In the locker room, he reminded me, we never finished. His eyes met mine, and he smiled and turned into his usual smirk. Come help me, he said, standing up. Okay. I was unable to help myself as my legs picked me up from the chair, and I followed Sebastian out of the cafeteria and down the senior hallway into the boys' locker room. I have a feeling this might happen. Sebastian moved over to his locker and put his combination in. Opening it, he stepped and glanced at me. You seem a little off last night. Are you alright? He asked. Oh, my man was concerned about me. You said this already. But, oh no. Last night, he was talking about me confessing my love to him. What should I say? I should be like him and pretending it never happened should go with my original plan or feeling or Ireland to become a sheep farmer. Huh. I could change my name. Evan would be such a boring name. I could get it. I don't even know how to say this. Blank was a sexy name. I was the sex guy. Evan? Sebastian snapped his finger in front of my face. I jumped in shock. Sebastian snickered and crossed his arms, leaned against the locker and looking up. Looking so incredibly attractive, that casual glance down makes sure my mini-me wasn't popping out to say hello. What was the question I asked, realizing I completely forgot what we were talking about? Have we been talking about how incredibly good looking I am? I asked if you were okay, he said, shifting a little closer to me. He reached out his hand, stroked my cheek gently. I was worried about you. You went spraying out of the house, he said. I was being a bushman, I said shankily. Bushman? He asked in amusement. I meant I was hiding from you, Murphy's bushes. I said, my eyes on his. Now, why would you hide from me? I don't bite, he said. The smirk spread on his face, and he leaned closer to my ear. At least not hard. Oh my god! His whisper tickled my ear and made me shiver. Sebastian getting brushed his fingers on my lips and I became paralyzed. You're cute, you know. You're cute, you know. He said, taking in my appearance. He put his free hand on my chest and pushed me up against the locker. He shifted so his body was nearly pressed against mine. You told me you loved me, Evan. It's about time you admitted it. What? He said, his eyes lighting up as he smoked. He pressed his body against mine. I wouldn't have expected surprise if anyone in their world could hear my wild heartbeat right now. I was trembling violently. Just lost my place. Was this really happening, or was another one of my very pleasant dreams? Would I wake up and need some time alone with my hand in the shower? Oh my god, I hope not. I wanted this to be real. I wanted Sebastian. Sebastian leaned down and began to kiss my neck. Finding my soft spot, he began to suck on it, pressing his body up against mine harder. My control snapped, and I brought my hands up and tangled them in his hair and pulling his head closer to my neck. Sebastian sucked on my neck harder and I let out a slight moan. Positive he was going to leave a mark. Sebastian finally pulled away from my neck and moved up to my ear. He began to nibble on it, and my hand dropped back to my side helplessly. Sebastian gripped my hip and worked his hips with mine. My body was screaming for more of Sebastian. I just hoped he would give it to me. Tell me you love me, Evan. I love hearing it, he breathed. I love you, I whispered. Sebastian caught my bottom lip with his teeth and nibbled on it playfully. He ran his hands up and down my chest, over my shirt, his hips still moving with mine. He released my bottom lip and let his hand slip under my shirt. His touch was so warm. So warm and comfortable. He slowly began to remove my shirt. I hooked my hands in his pockets and drew him closer to my body, grinding against him. Okay, they're in the locker room. Now would be a good time to lock the door. Sebastian let out a surprised gasp and followed by a pleasure groan. He confidently, hands began to tremble a little. The bell exploded as we jumped away from each other. Sebastian's eyes widened a little as he stared at me. He cleared his throat, and that calm look returned to his eyes. He gave me a smirk, but I didn't hold the same confidence that I did normally. I'll see you later, Evan, he said before turning and hurrying out of the locker room. I stared after him in confusion, my heart racing. I went over to the mirror and looked at the wall and looked at my reflection. My neck had a very obvious mark from Sebastian. I fixed my shirt and my hands shaking wildly and covered the hickey. I left the locker room searching around for Rory. When I spotted him, I rushed over to him and dragged him into an empty classroom, locking the door. If you wanted me alone, you had your chance last night, he said, watching me lock the door. Rory, now is not the time, I cried a little hysterically. I don't even know what I just did. Grind with Sebastian Amsel, got my ear and lip nibbled on by him, had his hands up my shirt. What are you talking about, he asked in confusion. I pulled down my shirt and gestured on the hickey. That's from Sebastian? I basically shrieked in his face. I was freaking out right now. Why did Sebastian just do that to me? He was supposed to be straight! It was fantastically come true. And I can't believe it just happened. I said, collapsing into a chair and running a trembled hand through my hair. Calm down, Evan, Rory said, but even he looked unsure. I'm sure that's a good explanation for why Sebastian Amsel just molested you in the locker room. I groaned. And not in a pleasure way, I was so confused. Did Sebastian like me? He didn't say he did. Great. So I got grinded on the guy in my dreams in the locker room that's not locked. There's a chance he likes me, but there's also a few problems with this situation. One of them being, did Sebastian actually like me, or had he just been teasing me? The biggest being, how in the world was I supposed to explain the hickey to my mom? Life just got so much more complicated. Oh my freaking God, how far am I recording? 18 minutes. Okay, what the fuck just happened? Sadly, I don't know, because number one, I'm confused. Why would Sebastian do that? I mean, literally, why would he do that in the first place? Let me guys know what you guys think. What do you think? Did you think Sebastian did the right thing? Okay, so I had two questions for you guys. One, do you think Sebastian did the right thing? Number two, do you think Sebastian likes Evan? Leave your comments in the description below, and I will be checking them. And I'm pretty sure Molly will be commenting again. So yeah, and until next time, come back for tomorrow for chapter 17. And until next time, gay is okay, just ask the GSA. Mwah!